Hello guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Free Hammers. It's Luke here. I hope you're all doing well. This is just a daily news sort of roundup about what's going on at the club today and the news stories that are out there. There's not much sort of big stuff that's wouldn't be more or less recycled and stuff we didn't know. We'll start off with the obvious big story of the day is that Lucas Paquetá has sort of more or less confirmed that he's looking to leave the club and he's looking to sue the FA to try and speed this process up because he believes that that is what held up his big move to Manchester City in the summer, which I believe too. I think we're very fortunate that we was able to keep hold of him. I think if this betting stuff wouldn't have come out, I think he would have been gone. And it's not really sort of surprise news or anything fascinating. I think we more or less knew he would be gone. You know, anyone, if Manchester City comes in for you, there's certain clubs, Manchester City, probably Liverpool, Real Madrid come in for you, then, you know, you're going to go and you can't put that against him. Apparently, you know, there is an £85 million buyout clause in his contract. And as you know, if they meet that price, they have to give you the full £85 million cash up front. So it's a good return. Listen, I will be gutted when he's gone. He's a special player, one of the best I've seen in a West Ham shirt in my lifetime. Probably up there in the top three. You know, Di Canio, Payet, and him. You know, three of the best players that I've ever seen don the shirt. And we miss him desperately these last few games, and a massive rebuild will be needed in the summer. With the money that he generates. But I think what it speaks volumes to is the other players like your Caduceus and Bowens. Will they be looking, thinking, oh, Lucas is out, he's going to be going winning things with Manchester City or wherever he ends up. I did laugh when Tottenham's name was brought up in there. Surely he doesn't go to Tottenham. You know, surely he has more ambition than that. I don't want to see him go to Arsenal. I see them linked as well. That's one club, again, I just don't like them. You know, I hope if he goes to Manchester City, you know, I wish him well. The other news out there was one about Mark Noble and David Moyes sort of more or less falling out, and that Noble's losing patience with Moyes in terms of what happened in the transfer window, and the fact that it's been left short. There's loads of people to blame. There's no one's. It all boils back down to Sullivan. You know, he should have just gone, right, let's do it. But there's loads of cards that fall into place that you can blame for it. All of the January transfer window. If this is true, the Noble and Moyes, if they are classed, there's no real confirmed evidence of it. But if it was true, I think Mark is looking at it like we do as West Ham fans, and he will know what we want. He, at the end of the day, he is one of us. I know he has to still portray a role at West Ham, but I reckon behind closed doors, I'd like to think that Mark's quite a big voice, and you know, I assume all his mates, his family are West Ham, and they'll be saying, "Look, Mark, what's going on at the club here? What, has he still in a job? Have you left us this short?" And maybe Mark's becoming as frustrated as we are. You know, at the end of the day, he is a fan as well, and it's something to look at. It just seems like there's so much negative stuff coming out of the club now. Gonzo did a great video this morning about resetting, you know, in the summer, and I think that's a really good point from Gonzo. That this club can't reset under David Moyes. It needs a new idea. It needs fresh, hungry ideas where players, you know, are back on it. You know what it's like when you know, in your job and you get a new manager or a new line manager in, and you're back on your toes. Or if you get a new job, you're back on your toes because, you know, you've got to relearn how you can, you know, what you can get away with, what the expectations are. And that's what West Ham need. It needs players to be back on their toes and to realise what it's about, and being able to express themselves to a certain extent as well, and not feel secluded, you know, with Moyes having his favourites now and certain players just sitting there thinking, what's the point of me even turning up? I could put in a performance of my life and still not get picked. I could score a goal a weekend and still not get picked. We've seen it. So a massive reset in the summer. I agree, Gonzo, mate, and I thought that's a really good video. Point you guys over to there. Go and watch Gonzo's video today. It's a really good video. The other interesting one is, it's more my opinion, this is the big news in all of sort of sport today in terms of Premier League is Dan Ashworth, the big sporting director, chief executive, whatever you want to call him, of Newcastle, formerly of Brighton, is heavily, it looks like it's more or less going to happen, that he will go to Manchester United, which is a big deal. You know, he's very highly sought after. He's done good things at Brighton, done good things at Newcastle to date. And where my theory comes in here is, you've got Liverpool looking at Steidten. Would Newcastle be considering looking at someone like Tim Steidten as well? Like I say, if it's big out there that Liverpool are looking at Steidten. So Newcastle, who have ambitions, unlike West Ham, to be, you know, to break that top four, to consistently be challenging around the top, will they look at Steidten and go, yeah, this guy's just on his sort of one and a half transfer windows at West Ham, he's done really well. And imagine that with the support network of Newcastle. I don't know whether any of you guys have seen the Newcastle documentary that was on Amazon last year. It's all set up so well for Tim to basically flourish, you know, and be allowed to do the job that he want to do. So, be interesting to see if Newcastle did sniff around him if this Ashworth stuff does come off. Like I say, one of the managers that we were linked with looks like he's going to go to Palace again. It was the Frankfurt manager, the one who beat us in the Europa League. Not one that I was particularly gutted about or upset about or anything like that. I think there is other managers in the frame. But yeah, that's about it, guys, in terms of news. Paquetá looks like he's going to be out for another 4 weeks. Does look like Mickey's back, though. He posted some messages about, you know, playing at Forest, that he's looking forward to going back and playing there. So that, to me, would say that he's fit for tomorrow, which is a good thing if we can get Mickey back in some sort of purple patch, you know, where he goes and it's 4 or 5 goals in 10 games. They could be really, really important and just something to be a little bit more positive for going into the later stages of the season. Yeah, be sure to check out Europa League tonight to see, you know, where teams stand in terms of going through and what we've got to look forward to in a couple of weeks' time when the draw is. Until next time, guys, like I say, a bit of a mishmashy video, but the news is not as prominent as it has been the last couple of days with my opinion pieces. Yeah, until next time, guys, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. Let me know if there's any news that you have heard about that you'd like me to do a video about. It always helps to get some ideas when the news is a bit thin. Until next time, guys, come on your hands, keep believing. Let's go.